Good afternoon. Today I am going to inform you of women's involvement in the military. So of course there was some women's involvement before World War II, but World War II, and more in particular Pearl Harbor, was when women's rights really kicked off for the military. So during Pearl Harbor, women were able and put into combat situations, more particularly Lieutenant Annie Fox. She was a lieutenant nurse who was stationed in Pearl Harbor during the attacks. She was working the aid station. She treated small arms wounds, which for some people that don't know what that is, that's just bullet wounds. Burn victims. She treated mortally wounded soldiers. She made a huge impact on treatment of care for the soldiers involved during Pearl Harbor. She was also the first female to ever receive the Purple Heart. Of course, she didn't lose her life during these attacks, so it was downgraded. But at the time, her actions proved that she was worthy of that award. So that's just gonna go to show, after Pearl Harbor, they created a Women's Army Auxiliary Corps. So, and that's when, after Pearl Harbor, they realized that women were more capable of being combat arms opposed to what was perceived, which was back then when women were still home care. They still took care of the home. They still were wives and they took care of the kids. They weren't considered military personnel, even though that they were in a combat situation. So this Women's Army Auxiliary Corps ended up actually having over 350,000 women involved by the end of World War II. So this is important because now we, as women, especially women in the military, should feel very empowered. So since that point in time, we have been fighting to be on the same level as male soldiers. We've always wanted to prove ourselves that we meet the same standards as males. Of course, some people don't believe that. However, last February, 32 women were sent to Fort Benning, Georgia to conduct infantry soldier training. While they were there, 18 out of those 32 actually graduated with that job advancement, so they can now, they earn their blue cords, their infantry badge per se. Captain Seth Davis, after these women had graduated, stated female gender integration is new to the infantry branch, but it is not new to the infantry. We've integrated women into infantry divisions before, but this is the first time in history that women have actually been infantry soldiers. This is huge for us. We should be empowered. Because of this, we have the opportunity to continue progressing in the military. We have that option to continue being combat arms. So this is important for future generations. It's something that happened. That was, of course, just the first cycle. I don't believe, I've read that they don't plan on stopping women from being in the infantry because women have proven that they are more than capable of maintaining themselves as infantry soldiers. So that's going to conclude my information on women involvement in the military. Women that are watching this should feel empowered. Actually, after I read all the articles, I was super pumped up. I was ready to go change my MOS to be in the infantry. So this is great for us. Have a good day.